I'm just going to go back to the first slide. Oh, we've got one. We've got someone in with us already.
Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So we'll just wait a few minutes, make sure we've got everybody who wants to attend and they can. And then we'll kick off at past. Got more people joining us now. Lovely. Hi, Vivian. Oh, got some more joining us now. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to give it maybe one more minute, and then we shall make a start. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Um, okay. Oh, no, more people joining us. Fabulous. I think before I forget, I'll hit record now, and then we can. Oh, it is recording. Oh, it's already recording. Fantastic.
I think it said it started recording when you started the event.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay.
So just to let everyone know, we're recording.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so shall we get started then? It has just turned 12:30. So thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to talk about the Assistant Practitioner Apprenticeship starting at the University of Suffolk in February 2026. We'll start with some introductions. My name's Abby. I'm a lecturer in health apprenticeships and the course lead for this Assistant Practitioner Foundation degree apprenticeship. I'm a registered nurse and my background is community nursing, and I've had the pleasure of working with lots of knowledgeable, skilled and holistic APs over the years in integrated neighbourhood teams. And I'm now really delighted to help them help you develop and progress in your careers as an academic. Sarah Jane, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name's Sarah Jane and I work for East Suffolk and North Essex Foundation Trust, and I am currently an assistant practitioner, and I'm on secondment as well for 2 days per week as an allied health professions workforce development lead. So I'm trying to help people within the support workforce to develop within their careers by doing things such as an degree for assistant practitioners to help them develop within their roles. Lovely to meet you all.
Thank you. And Ellen, could I just ask you to introduce yourself,
Hi
please?
there. Yes, I'm Ellen and I am the Apprenticeships Contracts Manager in the apprenticeship team here at the University of Suffolk.
Lovely. So, thank you. Today, we're going to talk through the details of this apprenticeship. We're going to look at why it's a really valuable qualification for anyone who is looking to progress or even to consolidate their existing skills, and how you can get involved, and whether you're a potential apprentice or an employer looking to support your staff. So, Sarah Jane, over to you for a moment, if that's all right.
Of course, thank you very much. I just wanted to kind of start the presentation off with the importance of a foundation degree for assistant practitioners. So just so we can kind of talk over that. If anyone has any questions, there is a Q&A box that you can write your questions in, and we will make sure that we get them answered before the meeting's over. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the first thing I kind of wanted to touch on was skills and knowledge development. So the foundation degree will give assistant practitioners a structured formal education, combining their theory with their practice too. So a lot of these courses involve you working and also going to university as a little bit of a mix of both, so that you get to know both areas, get to know the job well that you're actually doing, as well as doing the theory. It helps build clinical competence in the relevant areas, such as allied health areas like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy. It's not just basic support work, which you may be currently doing now as a support worker, but you want to become an assistant practitioner. There's more advanced tasks, but you're just under supervision while doing it, while you gain your confidence in the role. Thank you. Next slide.
Okay.
So it brings professionalisation, standardisation, and enhancing the role and scope of practice. So the NHS has defined national occupational standards for AHP support roles. The foundation degree aligns within these standards. The framework by Health Education in England explicitly requires a foundation degree for assistant practitioners. This helps to ensure that they have a consistent baseline of skill and knowledge, which is important for the patient safety and for the quality of care given to the patients. Within the higher education and training, assistant practitioners can undertake more complex tasks than healthcare support workers. So according to the job descriptions that you might see in the NHS for assistant practitioners, they manage caseloads, carry out assessments and deliver interventions. This, as I said, is always under supervision. However, it does give the student more responsibility so they can build within their role. They can act more independently because they are more competent and accountable for what they do. And they can also be involved in service development, quality improvement, and maybe even mentoring others and supervising more junior staff like support workers. Thank you. A foundation degree for assistant practitioners is foundational in both senses. It underpins their practical work and formalises their role within the team. It elevates assistant practitioners beyond support workers, giving them more autonomy, responsibility, and capabilities. And from the NHS workforce perspective, it's a strategic asset. It helps build capacity within allied health, improves the quality of care, and aids retention and development. For the individual themselves, it's a career enabler, offering both recognition and a pathway to professional development. So it's a really good thing for a support worker to be able to develop and do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. That's great. So I'm going to give a bit of an overview of the Assistant Practitioner Apprenticeship that we are launching in February 2026. So it is a 2-year taught program. At the end of the 2 years, you will then have a 3-month consolidation period in which you can complete the endpoint assessment, which for this course is an observation of your practice and a professional discussion, which is underpinned by a portfolio of evidence that you will gather over the course of your 2 years. So we use a blended model of teaching and learning, which includes in-person sessions, online learning, clinical simulation. There's a good mix of approaches to suit different learning styles. It would be 1 day of theory each week. So that might be face-to-face on campus, but it might also be on Teams, or it could be self-directed learning on our online platform, Brightspace. We have worked really hard with ESNEFT and NHS England colleagues to design a curriculum that we feel meets the needs of employers and apprentices and ultimately patients. We have tried to make sure that everything is relevant to real practice. So all of our assessments are authentic in the sense that they're built around what apprentices would actually be doing in their day-to-day roles, not sort of abstract academic tasks. Everything links back to practice. So just to touch on entry requirements, although it's a foundation degree, so it is studying at level 4 and level 5, we don't require you to have a level 3 qualification. If you do, that's great, but it's not a requirement. So you would need to have functional skills, so level 2 in English and Maths, or GCSE English and Maths at grade C or 4 or above. You need to be employed in a permanent role in the health and care sector with a contract for a minimum of 30 hours a week. And that is so that we can ensure that you will have the time to meet all the competencies on the programme. In terms of academic skills, we know that for a lot of our students, the academic side of things can be a source of stress, and it can put them off applying for a programme, but we provide a lot of one-to-one tutorial support for these skills. You know, for example, for a lot of our students on the Nursing Associate Foundation degree, it's a return to education after a long time away, so it can be daunting, but there is plenty of support available for it. And we've had some real success stories of students seeking out and accepting academic skills support and then taking their grades from, just about passing all the way up to high first. So it's achievable and it is great for personal and professional confidence. So I just want to walk you through the key modules of the apprenticeship, which is designed for those of you who likely already have significant experience and skills in practice, but are looking to gain the underpinning theory and to meet the occupational standards requirement for a foundation degree. So, this is about deepening your knowledge and formalizing your expertise. So at level 4, we start with personal and professional development, which focuses on the core personal and professional skills that are needed to succeed in clinical roles. And while you'll likely already demonstrate these, this module provides the theory and the framework to enhance your practice. We then move on to a communication module. As we all know, communication skills are key in healthcare, and this module ensures that you are equipped to work effectively with a wide range of service users. Will help you to kind of formalize and refine your existing communication skills. And then we move on to human anatomy and physiology. If you're already familiar with these concepts, then this module will solidify that knowledge with a really strong theoretical basis. And it will hopefully ensure you fully understand how the body works in health and in illness. And then we move on to a rehabilitation module. So this is the start of our focus on rehabilitation. While you may already work in this area, this module, Principles and Foundations of Rehabilitation Practice, will give you the sort of underpinning theory, models, and evidence base to build on and apply in your own practice. And then when we move up to level 5, we have got our first module is contemporary health and wellbeing, exploring public health strategies and their impact on rehabilitation. And then we move into our second specialist rehabilitation module, rehabilitation and recovery, evidence-based interventions for lifelong wellbeing. This module is a key component of the course. It's focused on evidence-based rehabilitation practices that you can integrate into your work to ensure you are using the best approaches to support recovery and well-being. So whether you're working with patients in physical rehabilitation or mental health recovery or neurological conditions, this course provides the theory to kind of back up what you might already know. And then we move into research and leadership for professional practice. This module helps you to grow as a leader, to contribute to evidence-based practice in your clinical area, and to develop your skills in applying research to improve practice. And then EPA, the final endpoint assessment. This is where you'll demonstrate your practical skills, but also the theoretical knowledge that you've gained in that 3-month period of consolidation at the end of your course. Throughout the course, you will benefit from specialist input from expert lecturers in therapy and rehabilitation, as well as from nursing experts as well. The mix is designed to kind of provide that practical and theoretical knowledge that you will need to excel in your roles. Okay, so let's move on to practice learning. So practice learning is going to be a vital part of the program in order for you to apply the theoretical knowledge that you'll gain from the course to real world practice. As you're employed as an apprentice, your main placement would be in the area that you work in already. But you will have external placements as well to gain experience in different settings, and you'll work with different multi-professional teams. So your external placements are scheduled for 1 week in the first year and 2 weeks in your second year. And these placements are arranged with your employer with plenty of notice, and we do make sure that we consider things like your travel and driving situation. When you are on placement, you will have supernumerary status, meaning that you won't be replacing a regular member of staff, and you'll be there to learn. You'll also be allocated a practice supervisor, and this person will be a role model for safe and effective practice. They'll support your learning to help you meet your proficiencies. They provide feedback on your progress, and will be able to offer guidance based on their current knowledge and experience in that practice area. So I think it's important to consider what the benefits are going to be for somebody who joins the course. First of all, this is a career progression pathway. If this qualification opens pathways into other healthcare roles, including allied health professional degrees. If progression is important to you, this is a really supportive route that helps you to build on your existing skills and to move forward in your career at your own pace. But as you go through the program, you will see, I think, a real increase in your confidence, as well as your skills and responsibility, preparing you for those more advanced roles in healthcare. And on top of that, you'll gain this nationally recognized foundation degree, which, as Sarah Jane said, is a requirement for the Band 4 assistant practitioner role. It's the recognized qualification for this role, so you will meet those that occupational standard. Another major benefit is that this apprenticeship gives you, access to level 5 education without the burden of student debt. It is a fantastic way to learn. So you earn while you learn. You don't have to kind of take time out and lose income in order to gain a qualification. And it's also important to mention that you will gain a deep understanding of the theory behind practice. So learning about why we do things the way we do, not just how we do them. It makes you, helps you to be more informed. It helps you to make evidence-based decisions, and it brings sort of an extra layer of expertise to your practice. And finally, the apprenticeship is designed to sort of fit around your work and life. We offer structured support. The program allows you to balance your learning with your existing job, which makes it a much more manageable experience. The practicalities, though, so this is sort of mainly directed at managers, really, employers. So the workplace requirements. So the employer plays an absolutely key role in ensuring that the apprentice can achieve the required competencies in the workplace, and it means the apprentice will need to be supported in applying what they learn in the classroom to real practice with the guidance of their manager and supervisor. So supervision is a must. Apprentices need to be under regular supervision to ensure that they are progressing in their roles and to keep that training relevant and effective. And supervisors should be available really to provide feedback and coaching and guidance. Another important aspect is the off-the-job training requirement. So this is where an apprentice will spend about 20% of their working hours on activities directly related to the apprenticeship. This can includes their theory days on campus or at home on Teams or on our online learning platform. But it can also include practical training, shadowing or mentoring, allocated time within the working week to complete assignments or engage in online learning, completing their coursework and other learning activities relating to the apprenticeship. So employers need to ensure that the time is allocated for that learning. We also undertake tripartite reviews throughout the apprenticeship. So these are kind of meetings with the meetings between the apprentice, the employer, and the training provider, us, at the university. And the purpose of that is to track the apprentice's progress and address any sort of concerns or any need of support as we go along. And lastly, there needs to be access to a named practice supervisor. So this supervisor helps the apprentice meet their practical competencies. Overall, in short, employers just need to ensure that there is supervision, allocated time for training, and the right support mechanisms in place for the apprentice to succeed. But the benefits to employers are huge. First of all, the apprenticeship is cost effective, especially with levy funding or levy share options, which we will talk about in a moment. It leads to safer staffing. Apprentices gain skills that they need while already familiar with your organisation, which improves patient care. So a better patient experience because apprentices develop new skills and bring fresh knowledge and provide increased support. And in terms of your workforce, we know that apprenticeships improve recruitment and retention, and by offering clear career development pathways, you will be able to retain staff for longer. And finally, the apprenticeship aligns with the ICS workforce strategy, which it helps to develop skilled, qualified staff for the future of our health and care services. I just want to put in a word for studying at the University of Suffolk. So it's not just an excellent place to study, but it's also an institution that is highly recognised for its commitment to supporting students. You can see where we've been ranked in the What Uni Student Choice Awards. So first for student support, first for lecturers and teaching quality, and University of the Year. And the Guardian University Guide 2026 has us ranked second in teaching satisfaction, and the Good University Guide has us second for student experience as well. But it is not just about rankings. So there is a huge amount of academic and pastoral support here from personal tutors to study skills resources, dedicated academic advisors. So whether it's you need help with coursework or advice on how to balance study and work, or emotional support, it's our student well-being service is really thorough, and it's something that we're very proud of. So this is a kind of summary of the of what our student life team will provide. I just want to touch again on the library and learning services support, because they will help you with study skills and referencing and how to write an essay, how to find evidence for your essays, or how to find research to support your points in your essays. And we also have a student finance advisory service that offers information about funding and fees and financial planning, which we know is really important to lots of our students. Oh, I wanted to highlight that all of the clinical simulation that we do at the University of Suffolk is undertaken in these amazing facilities. So they're state-of-the-art clinical simulation facilities that include 2 simulated hospital wards, a midwifery birthing unit, physiotherapy teaching spaces, sports and exercise facility, a working radiography imaging suite, and it is an amazing place to learn. So on that note, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Ellen, who is going to hopefully talk through the specifics of an apprenticeship in a bit more detail. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks, Abby. Yes, so I'll take you through the next few slides just about apprenticeships in general and the support we provide here at the university. Next slide, please. So as Abby has mentioned, obviously with the specifics with the assistant practitioner, so obviously apprenticeships are a real life job, you're earning while you're learning, you're in a paid job, and it's combining that real life experience with the learning and theory side. So some misconceptions still with apprenticeships is that it is for any age. As long as you are over the age of 16, there is no upper age limit on apprenticeships. You are paid a competitive wage, so you have to be paid more than the national minimum wage. And a lot of higher and degree apprenticeships, the wages are competitive. You can be an existing employee, so it's great for upskilling, but also for anyone looking for a career change as well. And apprenticeships have to be at least 12 months, and it combines that on the job with off the job. And as Abby mentioned, it's that 20% element. As long as it's new learning, whether that's in the classroom or in the workplace, that does count as your off the job training that goes towards your knowledge, skills, and behaviours. Next slide, please. So this is just a quote from the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. And as it says here, it's a great way for employers to nurture their own talent. And it's also an excellent route for young people to enter into the labour market, allowing individuals to train on the job and gain the qualification at the same time. So it's a great way for both coming into the labour market, but also nurturing the skills you might already have to progress in your career. Next slide, please. So the support you receive while studying on an apprenticeship, there's lots of different teams here that support you in and out of the workplace. So obviously the main one being the academic school, who will be teaching you the theory side of your apprenticeship, looking at and giving feedback on your off-the-job logs and assessments, and really supporting you right through the programme and into your endpoint assessment. You also have the apprenticeship team, which I'm part of, so we will support you with onboarding, your enrolment, compliance, and any programme record keeping. So we work very closely with the academic team on that as well. As part of the apprenticeship team, we have our practice educators. They are the ones who complete your tripartite reviews, as Abby mentioned. So these take place every 10 weeks, and it's really important for both the apprentice and the line manager to be there. It's a chance to speak to the team about the progress, really celebrating them successes, and also highlighting anything that you might want to to raise in terms of support, extra support you need, and seeing the progress right through all the way until you leave your apprenticeship. So the practice educators, you'll be nominated one specific person who will support you throughout your journey. Obviously, at the university as well, we have other student support services. We have a careers team who can support you with your lifelong learning. We also have the library services and wellbeing services, as Abby's mentioned before. And then obviously in the workplace, you have your line manager and mentor supporting you through whilst you're in the workplace, and one-to-one support, providing feedback, and again, attending then progress reviews with yourselves, with our practice educators. Next slide, please. So this is a quick whistle-stop tour of the journey. So as I mentioned, when you first come onto programme, the apprenticeship team will take you through the enrolment process. So looking at eligibility, making sure we have everything in place ready for you to start the learning. We'll give you a really comprehensive overview in our apprenticeship induction as to what facility, where you can find the uni, the facilities we have, looking at examples of off-the-job training logs, introducing you to the right members of the team. So even before you become on programme, you'll have that really comprehensive overview even before you start. Then once you're on program, obviously this is the largest part, looking at the knowledge, skills and behaviour. So that's when you'll be in your lessons, and obviously in the workplace, building that off the job knowledge, skills and behaviours, heading towards the endpoint assessment. So just before you enter into EPA, you'll go through Gateway, which is just checking you've got everything you need. We're not setting anyone up to fail here. It is making sure you are fully prepared before you enter into your last part of your programme, the endpoint assessment. Next slide, please. So the employer and line manager responsibilities. The line managers play a really important role in the apprentice success and progression. Apprentices may come from a huge range of backgrounds. Some may have significant experience in the workplace, while others may find that this is their first time in a job role, and first time learning and doing the practical, the theoretical side. So the apprentice's line manager's duties are the same as for all staff. However, they're also responsible for supporting the apprentice's development, and really being embedded in their learning and understanding the support that they need during their program, and just supporting them to become a fully competent member of their workforce as well. So it's really that support and nurturing side of that that you'll need to provide to your apprentice. Obviously they're in the workplace whilst also studying for a degree, so it's just patience and making sure they are feeling supported whilst on program. Next slide, please. And again, just being that that mentor for them in the workplace, of being that positive role model, supporting suitable project opportunities, identifying and supporting professional development opportunities, understanding the apprenticeship standard and that the apprenticeship program that they're on is really important. Holding them regular informal meetings with the apprentice to make sure they feel well supported, supervising in and monitoring progress, which you can then take to the tripartite reviews. As I mentioned before, it's really important to attend them progress review meetings throughout the programme. And supporting the apprentice in developing the skills for their role and knowledge for progression, and assessing the apprentice's suitability to progress to their endpoint assessment.
Thank you, Ellen. That's
No
great.
problem.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about apprenticeship funding now, and I think Sarah Jane is going to kindly start us off here with, yeah, okay.
Thank you. So there is funding for support worker apprenticeships. The funding supports NHS employers to provide apprenticeships for AHP support workers, AHP senior support workers, and AHP assistant practitioners, and improve access to occupationally relevant qualifications. So this is aligned with the Allied Health Professions Support Worker Competency, Education and Career Development Framework, and profession-specific competency, education and career frameworks. So we're just going to kind of talk through what kind of funding there is. Thank you. Next slide. So relevant apprenticeship programs attract a payment to the employer of £4,287 per apprentice per year of training. That's up to 24 months. For new apprenticeships, this starts in the 25-26 financial year. For senior healthcare support worker level 3 apprenticeships, assistant practitioner within the healthcare industry level 5 apprenticeship, and other relevant apprenticeships at levels 3 and 4. So funding supports and employer costs related to the apprenticeships that are not covered by the employer's apprenticeship service account or government employer co-investment. It mirrors the funding offered for trainee nursing associate apprenticeships. So it's kind of the same sort of offer, planned and managed via regional NHS England teams via the Education and Activity Plan, which is also known as ETAP. So if you ever hear of ETAP funding, that's what that means. I've in the past been a little bit confused as to what ETAP means. So it's the Education and Training Activity Plan funding. The funding is paid to the employer, not to the individual apprentice. There is a finite amount of funding available and not guaranteed until this is confirmed by the regional team. Thank you. Next slide. So please follow the, oh, sorry, just a moment. I think it's got mixed up. Was there not a QR code
There
slide?
is. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
that's
got a bit
fine.
confused.
My fault.
Please follow this QR code to register your expression of interest for ETAP funding for 2025 and 2026. This expression of interest can only be completed by an authorising manager. So, for example, a lead AHP, an apprenticeship lead, or an education manager. If you are a support worker interested in the assistant practitioner apprenticeship that we've been talking about today, please ensure that your manager is aware of this additional funding opportunity, because it is there, and therefore they won't have to worry about funding it because it's already been funded. Thank you. And final slide. So the funding information. If you would like any further information about the ETAP funding for apprenticeships for the support workers within the AHP workforce, please contact the East of England regional team on the email address that's on my slide here. So that's england.ahpoewte@nhs.net.
Lovely. Thank you, Sarah
Thank
Jane.
you. No worries.
I'm just going to talk quickly about the apprenticeship levy share. So colleagues at ESNEFT have kindly provided some information here that I'm just going to talk through. So what is levy share funding? So it's this outlines the basics of levy share funding, really. Large employers pay into an apprenticeship levy, and if they don't use all of it, they can transfer up to 25% to another employer. And these funds can only be used to pay for apprenticeship training and assessment, not salary or backfill. The apprenticeship can be somebody new or an existing member of staff, but they must not already be on an apprenticeship program elsewhere. So payments for this are made through the digital apprenticeships service. And so for the assistant practitioner apprenticeship, the maximum band is £14,000. So to use levy transfer, an organisation needs to be set up on this digital apprenticeship service, or DAS. That means having a DAS account linked to your PAYE. And so once that's done, you'll have an account name and ID, and that's all you need for a transferring employer like ESNEFT, for example, to connect with you. So yeah, the process is actually quite simple. So first of all, the employer and provider agree which apprenticeship is needed. The employer then submits a levy transfer request. So I think for ESNEFT, you can use an online form via a QR code on the next slide. ESNEFT, as the transferring employer, then would approve the transfer and send a connection request on DAS. The receiving employer then accepts that connection and adds the apprentice's details. The training provider, like the University of Suffolk, for example, would then add further information about the programme. And then finally, ESNEFT would approve the funding, and payments begin monthly once the apprentice is on programme. So that is the so contact details here if you would like to explore levy transfer options a bit further. Tracy Whale is the contact at ESNEFT, but you can also email the generic Talent for Care inbox. And there is a QR code as well for accessing information. Oh, and Tracy has also provided the contact details for West Suffolk employers as well, and that is that's Julia Wood at West Suffolk. Okay, so that brings us to the end of what we wanted to tell you about the Assistant Practitioner Programme at the University of Suffolk, and we can take any questions if you have any. I'll just check the Q&A box. Oh, that's just Sarah Jane in there. Okay, so any questions that anybody wants to ask now?
Abby.
Oh, hi.
Hello. My name's Eleanor.
Hello.
Would I be able to have your email address and send you questions by email? Would that be okay?
Absolutely. So that was my next slide. Contacts. So yeah, my email address is there on the slide. It's a.davis, which is IES 7 at uos.ac.uk. So I'm very happy to talk to anybody who would like to talk a bit more about the course, how it can support your development, and also about the support available through from the university as well. And yeah, so just drop me an email, Eleanor. That would be lovely. And there's the email address for Sarah Jane there as well, and also Tracy Well and Talent for Care on the end there as well. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much for oh, Tina. Hi.
Yeah, no, I popped it in the chat. I just wondered, Tina, I'm one of the HP faculty leads for the region. Will the practice supervisors be from within the employer? Will they need to be dedicated? Yeah.
They will be from within the employer, yeah.
And will they need to have any?
Sorry.
No,
I didn't hear the second part.
That's fine. So yes, they'll be from the employer, and then will they need? So are we talking about qualified professionals that may already have other students on their caseload?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your question. Yeah, so please send any more other questions over to us by email. That's great.
There's another question in the Q&A box.
I can't see them.
From Jessica Davies, and it says, if you have prior learning at level 4, are you eligible for AP apprenticeship?
Can I ask Ellen if she's still there to come in on that, because I just want to double check that I'm correct.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's fine. So in short, yes, you will be able to look into the apprenticeship still with a level 4 qualification. What we do as part of our eligibility process is check for that any recognised prior learning. So depending on what the level 4 qualification was, we can definitely talk through how we can link that into your into the assistant practitioner programme. Because you haven't obtained that level 5 qualification, I'm pretty confident to say that would be absolutely fine. We might make some adjustments in terms of your training plan with any recognised prior learning. So that's how we'd explore that. So hopefully that helps for you.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
No problem.
Are there any other questions in the? I can't see any more in the Q&A.
Would we be able to have a copy of this PowerPoint at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, drop me an email and I will send a copy back to you. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else would like a copy, just email Abby or me, and we'll make sure it gets back to you.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you all very much for thanks, Jessica. Thank you very much for joining our session today. I hope you have a clearer understanding of the Assistant Practitioner Apprenticeship and how it can support your development. Please do contact us if you have any questions or comments. That'd be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye.